I'm in downtown St. John's, where there's been a lot of focus lately on a broad set of problems you might call street issues. The triple crisis of homelessness, drug addiction, and a lack of supports for mental health is playing out in cities all over the world. But in our little corner of the world, in downtown St. John's, those issues are highly visible every day.
I work down the street by the courthouse, almost on a daily basis. Just walking to the coffee shop there, I'm accosted 5 and 6 times by people looking for money. A lot of them are very obviously high. Some of them are very assertive. I've witnessed them walking onto some of the patio decks down here where people are eating and stuff and having drinks, looking for money, and passed out on the sidewalk. It's really getting bad. I live down here as well, and every day it seems like it just gets worse and worse.
Do you get the sense that this has been keeping people away from downtown, or that it's been affecting business? I mean, there's a cruise ship here today. There's a lot of people on the street, but do you get the sense that people who live in St. John's have been avoiding downtown because of some of the things you described?
I honestly believe that, well, I know for a fact that some people I know say they don't come down here anymore because it's just too rampant and too much bother.
Joining me now is Scott Cluney. Scott is the Executive Director of Downtown St. John's, the organization that represents businesses in the downtown district. Scott, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You were a signatory to a letter with Downtown St. John's and other downtown advocacy groups throughout Atlantic Canada last week, calling attention to what you were referring to as street issues. I want to understand, what do you mean by street issues, and how are those issues affecting businesses in downtown?
Well, we're looking at all the social issues that are occurring in our downtowns and actually in our cities, in our provinces. We're seeing with an increase in the opioid use, we're seeing a lot more break and enters in the businesses, thefts, shoplifting, those sorts of things. Thefts from vehicles, from people parked in our downtown, whether it be working or coming for play, or those sorts of things. So that's impacting businesses, directly from the loss of product or the loss of property damage through broken windows, through broken doors, those sorts of things. But then it's also coming down right to the street level, where you have individuals who don't quite feel safe in being in the environment anymore. They may have come down and experienced an aggressive panhandler, or seen something that kind of taken them off guard, not used to seeing that in downtown St. John's or other cities if they haven't traveled a whole lot. So, and that could be a homelessness issue, an individual that's suffering from a mental health episode or crisis, or someone using drugs. We often say that the vitality of our downtowns are seen by the street, whether that be a business or the streetscape, but also the people who are on our street. So when people come to our city or come to our downtown, whether they are from our own province or from our own jurisdiction, and you can kind of get the vitality of your downtown, your city, and your province by what you're seeing around you. Downtown St. John's, I have partnered with Thrive, CYN St. John's, through a Building Safer Communities grant, which was federal government money administered by the City of St. John's. So they've actually hired 2 outreach workers on a 1-year pilot project, and they started back in middle of May. So we have statistics now that take us up to the end of June. Next week I'll get my statistics that will cover off the months of July and August. But just the first 45 days of that pilot project, with 2 street outreach workers in our downtown Monday to Friday, so not counting Saturday and Sundays, there were little over 400 unique contacts. So individuals that had never been contacted before in our downtown over 45 days. A little over 300 of those were male. The primary issue is food and food insecurity. I think was over 70%, and then everything else falls from that. So most of the things that they gave out to these individuals that they met on the street and helped on the street was food, some clothing, just basic things, personal care items, and SWAT kits as well. So those types of things. But then, they were also able to help one particular individual who was here and found himself homeless and wanted to move back to British Columbia. So they were able to accommodate that, and those sorts of things. So that's a program that we have underway right now. It's only a 1-year pilot project. We have funding in place for that 1 year for 2 outreach workers. We'd love to have some more funding to increase the funding for more outreach workers that could do 7 days a week, because we know the social issues don't stop at 5:30 on a Friday.
What would downtown St. John's like to see in terms of an approach, a city or province-wide approach to this issue? And what would downtown look like in a world, in your view, in a world where some of these issues are being addressed?
Sure. Well, I think we still need to have, and the federal government are doing some great work in working on dealing with the housing initiatives, same as the province now with the new opening of the Comfort Inn Hotel, converting that into housing, and those are all great things. But we also need something that's going to address the opioid issue. We know that's a major driving force to a lot of the issues that are going on down here through the social issues and the crime, those sorts of things. And it's not just in downtown, that's right through the city and even throughout the various different parts of the province. So we want to see something that's done on a national level that can go towards helping to address those kinds of things and getting those people into programs and those sorts of things that they need.